Good day everyone, especially to you sir. Today what I am going to discuss or explain is all about the topic of Lumad in Mindanao. Lumad, the Indigenous Cultural Communities or ICC in the Philippines, Lumad believed to make about 10% of the national population. As we seen already in Mindanao, as like me sir, nakita jud nako pod nga ang Mindanao jud daghan pa jud kayo siya lumad. Even gani sa may kanang pagpasko nga time kay daghan gapangayo sila og kanang mga Christmas gift or mga pinaskuhan usahay mag kuan pa sila mamasko or something na sila maila. As we seen gani sa Davao, daghan kay tag makita dito nga lumad nga magsig limos or something na gapangayo di sila og tabang kay daghan na mamugog kayo og kanang kwan. Even sa may bukid kay daghan na jud kayo og kanang mga lumad po dito. Mao nang nag-migrate sila kay ang tao po dito apod overpopulated na pod kay sa may ilaha. So mangita gyud na sila og place kung asa sila mas prefer na mabuhi or asa sila mas prefer na ayos ilahang panginabuhi kay kung asa sila mas prefer dito agi na sila ganahan, especially sa Davao kay ang mga tao sa Davao manghinatagon man jud manghinatagon jud ang mga tao sa Davao. So mas prefer jud nila nga dito sila mga yog hinabang og mga pinaskuhan sama karon nga magpasko pa jud mga dyan sila mga tinubuan nga sanina or something na makatabang sa ilaha. Kasagaran jud sa mga lumad as we discover or as we seen today, ang mga lumad jud is wala jud na sila mga sarili nga income, wala jud na sila negosyo or business kay ang ilahang pangitaan ra jud kay ang ilahang panginabuhi ra jud is kanang pagkakaingin sa may bukid or hunting or something na magtanom sila. Moro jud nang gikabuhian sa mga lumad sa atoang bansa or sa atong lugar dire sa Mindanao. And something na mabuhi sila kay daghan naman po sila sa may bukid is nag-migrate sila into the cities para diri sila na pod mangayo og kanang mga panginabuhi nila. Most ICC or Indigenous Cultural Communities do not possess money or private property and widely discriminated against, find it hard to integrate with mainstream society, with the destruction of forests as well as with effort of lowland and majority to assimilate them to a Christian culture. The ICC struggle to protect their ancestral domain and cultural identity. They are also called as cultural minorities, and they have been pushed to move over the mountain and forest by landowner ever since town and cities were built. Kay kuan gina-discriminate magud ang lumad tung sa una og even karon gina-discriminate gihapon ang mga lumad. Kay pangit daw, baho, kulot og ulo, kulot og buhok, and something na maka-discriminate sa ilahang physical nga self-esteem. So mo to ang ginapili na lang sa may lumad is moadto na lang jud og bukid kay didto walay maka-discriminate sa ilaha, walay makakuan sa ila, makapasakit sa ilang damdamin og even mas mahapsay pa ilang kinabuhi kay murag swito sila.
Good morning sir, my name is Gerald Dito Landes and my topic is all about Cotabato Manubu. Cotabato Manubu is a simply means people or person. They have 8 subgroups which lives in the Philippine southern island of Mindanao. They speak one of the language belonging to the Manubu language family. Their origin can be traced back to the early Malay peoples who came from the surrounding island of Southeast Asia. Today, their common culture language of Malay heritage help to keep them connected. These groups are often connected by name of either political division or land forms. The 8 Manubu groups are all very similar, differing only in dialect and in some aspects of culture. The distinctions have resulted from the geographical separation. One of these 8 groups is the Cotabato Manubu. What are their live likes? The most common lifestyle of the Cotabato Manubu is that of agriculture. The simply farming techniques allow fields to remain fallow of certain periods of sow time, so that areas of cultivation may be shifted from place to place. They grow rice, maize, taro, roots, bananas, and sweet potatoes. They usually live near bodies of water, and their settlements consist of between 4 to 12 homes. Social life of the Monobo is male-dominated. The head of the family is the husband. Polygyny, having more than a wife at a time, is common for men who have wealth. The political structures of Cotabato Monobo includes a ruler, called a sultan. Beneath him are the royal and the non-royal classes.
The Bagubus. The Bagubus is the group that lives in a very mountainous regions of Mindanao between the Upper Pulange and Davao Rivers. So, ang mga Bagubo is nakatira sa mga bulubundukin sa Mindanao between the Upper Pulange and Davao Rivers. And ang mga Bagubo ay napakaraming tribo or tawag, yun ang Manubo, Manuvo, Ubo, and Ubo. They are divided into two main groups, the coastal Bagubo who were influenced by Christianity and plantations were largely assimilated, and Happold Bagubo who traditionally practice slash and burn agriculture and derive about 20% of their food from hunting, gathering, and fishing. So ang mga Manubo ay umaasa sila sa ang kanilang pamumuhay ay sa paghahunting ng mga pagkain, mga isda, hayop, at mga iba pa. And some Uphold Bagubo village are very small and consist of only a few families living on hilltop, others are larger. Bagubo culture is characterized by strict incense prohibitions, the forms of vigilance groups, and the production of long epic poems called tuwang.
Good day, sir. Good day, everyone. My name is Julian L. Orenes. Bilanor Bilaan is a group that lives in South Central Mindanao, also known as Balud, Baraan, Bilyanes, Biraan, Blan, Bulan, Bulyanes, Tagalagad, Takugan, Tumanao, and Villanes. They live in houses scattered among gardens and are also ruled by Dato. The Bilaan or Blaan are a tribal community of southern Mindanao. The name of this indigenous group comes from the word Bla and An, meaning opponent people. The Bilaan people of Mindanao wrap their dead inside tree barks. Being enveloped as such, the dead person's body is then suspended from treetops.
Bukidnon. Bukidnon is a group that lives in the highlands of North Central Mindanao, also known as a Binukid, Higaunan, and Higaunon, and they have a traditional and raise and corn, rice, sweet potatoes, and bananas, and coconuts, and use water buffalo to flow in their fields. Many have been assimilated, and most are Catholics, and the ones of remain and closest and today would always live near in the headwaters of the Pulangwe River on the slope of Mount Kitanglad or Mount Kalatungan, and they used to live in communal house with as many as 50 families, but now they are single family houses. Bukidnon officially is the province Bukidnon in the Lacta province in the Philippines, located in the North Mindanao region. It's a capital city of Malaybalay, and province borders clockwise from the north Misamis Oriental, Agusan del Sur, and Agusan del Sur, and Davao del Norte, Cotabato, Lanao del Sur, and Lanao del Norte. Province of Bukidnon, and they are province of Bukidnon and 5 province. Region 10 usually called Northern Mindanao and composed of and 5 province Bukidnon in Camiguin, Lanao del Norte, Misamis Occidental, and Misamis Oriental.
Damandaya. Nagmula ang katagang Mandaya sa salitang man na ang ibig sabihin ay tao at daya naman na ang ibig sabihin ay itaas na bahagi ng ilog at sa Ingles, inhabitants of upland. Mandaya is an animist ethnic group that lives along the Mayo River. In the old days, Mandaya youth filled and blackened their teeth upon reaching puberty. These acts were considered aids to beauty which help young person and find a suitable partner for marriage. Mandaya's beliefs, they celebrate festivals to invite diwatas or spirit and ask for good health, healing for those who are sick. They use an assortment of bamboo musical instruments. The dead are buried with the coffin upright along with the some food for the journey. Their religion is animistic, believing in Anitos but they considered Magbabayo or God as the supreme being. A festival for Tagbanawa, the owner of the land, is made every harvest season for Thanksgiving. A carved image of this deity can always be found in their homes. Women priestesses, babaylans or babaylans mediate during rituals.
The Tibuli of Mindanao, pronounced as Tibuli. People live in southern part of province of Cotabato, in area around Lake Cebu west of City General Santos. In the past, the Tibuli practiced slash and burn agriculture. Traditional art comprise a large part of our cultural heritage. They bring to the first knowledge from the past, not as something frozen in time or something static, but as something quite dynamic, renew and refresh in every generations. The forests have been lost to intensive economic activities and deforestation. At present, the Tibuli live in mountains. Agriculture is their only source of income. The Tibuli distinguish themselves, like all other tribal Filipino, by their colorful clothes and specific ornaments like rings, bracelet, and earrings.
Muslims are the most significant minority in the Philippines. They are, for the most part, remain outside the mainstream of national life, set apart by their religion and way of life. Muslims are believers of Islam. The Muslims possess a culture that is different from that of Christians Filipinos. Ang mga Pilipino ang mga Muslims are iba sa ating mga Kristiyano. Mayroon silang ibang paniniwala na iba sa atin, katulad ng hindi sila kumakain ng baboy kasi raw may na-reincarnate doon na katawan ng tao. Their culture has been greatly influenced by Islam. It will be an interesting venture that know more about their culture. Islam means complete submission to the will of Allah. At ang Diyos rin sa mga Muslim ay Allah ang kanilang tawag. Complete submission means that all affairs that happens to man, including his daily affairs, being according to the will of Allah, be it sa business, government, education, social life, and arts, and also culture. The creed of the Muslim is simple. There is no God but the God Muhammad, His messenger. Muhammad ay isa siyang messenger. Kumbaga sa ating mga Kristiyano ay tinatawag na propeta. Siya ang propeta ng Panginoon. Muhammad is the prophet of Allah. God has revealed Himself to different people and thinkers such as Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. Muslims believe that Muhammad was the last messenger of God. God's message is written in the Holy Quran, in English, the Quran.
Hello everyone. Maguindanao sa Muslim Mindanao's Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, the Philippines. Maguindanao province was situated. Its provincial capital from 2014 to 2022 was Bulacan. But the Maguindanao Provincial Board meet in Sultan Kudarat at previous location of the provincial administration. Maguindanao is renowned for its excellence in the field of visual art. They have a long history of creating ceremonial sword and wavy blades known as kiris and other weapons.
Maranao. Maranao means a people of the lake, and their homeland is called Lanao or lake, and their oldest settlement started around here and up, and to this day high populated communities still that a lake, and their language is similar to Maguindaonon and Ilocano, and they are four and largest Muslim community and cultural minority in the Philippines, and their families are traditional large or close feudal standing. Standing is in some parts still visible, and the position, wealth, and land ownership of many those considered from an ancestry of reality still maintain some political positions of renaissance in their areas. They have traditional been fishermen and farmers and live in village made up of few households, but the households have often been large with several families living in together in a large unfurnished house with people sleeping along the walls and the rear of the dwelling, serving as a communal kitchen. Maranao is the largest of the Muslim and cultural and linguistic and group of the Philippines, numbering more than 840,000 in the late of 20th century, and they live around Lake Lanao on the southern islands of Mindanao. Rice farming in this main livelihood, along with mental work and woodworking, handcrafts.
Good morning, sir. My name is Gerald Dolantes. My topic is all about Tausug. Tausug comes from the word Tau, which means man, and Sug, which means land. Tausugs are Muslims are practice the tenets of Islam. Hulu is the home of the Tausug. One of the characteristics of the Tausug is preservation of the family reputation. It will never commit an act of the cowardice that will blemish on the family name. You can never expect a Tausug to run from a good fight. They believe the running away is shameful, especially when other members of the family are involved. Aside from Allah or Tuhan, the Tausug are also concerned with spirit inhabit nature, especially rocks and trees, and who are believed to be the cause of human suffering. Believe in the four composites of the human soul, of transcendental soul, the life soul associated with the blood and the breath of life essence, and the spirit of soul will travel during the dreams of who caused the shadow. And Tausug or Suluk are an ethnic group of the Philippines and Malaysia. A small population can also be found on northern part of northern Kalamitan, Indonesia. The Tausug are part of the wider political identity of the Muslim of Mindanao, Sulu, and Palawan. Most of the Tausug has converted into the religion Islam, whose members are known as the Moro group.
Culture of Sama, one of the Southeast Asian ethnic group referred as Sea Gypsies in the Sama de Laot, also known as the Badjao or Badjao Laot. They are a linguistic subset of the predominantly settled and strongly Islamized Sama ethnic group of the southern Philippines. For insane people who identify of Sama Sibuto either come from Sama Sibuto Islands, which is located of the southernmost point of the Sulu archipelago, or they speak the Sibuto dialect of Sama. Both land and sea oriented Sama typically reside in a wooden or bamboo homes constructed on piles over estuaries and shallow coastal waters.
Good day, sir. I'm Jemark F. Datahan, and this is my report. Yakan. Yakan is the majority Muslim group in Basilan, south of Mindanao. The Yakan have a general two spheres of belief integrating Islamic principles and traditional beliefs into what is referred to as folk Islam. The Yakans were primarily under Sulu Sultanate but proving to be deliberately their own through the leadership of Datu Kalun. The Basilan Yakan had given the Spanish and Americans. However, the Yakan remain in many instances separate from any rule other than the of sultanates their Datu follows. Due to much political conflict in the area of Basilan, many of the Yakans have settled in the region of Zamboanga City. So, what the word Yakans means? The word Yakans means is Dayak origin, as they are believed to be descendants of the Orang Diaks or Tagihamas of eastern Indonesia. They speak a dialect of Sama language and are culturally influenced in some respect by the Tausug. The Yakans' chief means of livelihood is farming and they usually cultivate upland rice. Ilanon or Iranon. The Iranon are by many to have been the origin of the ethnic groups within the Lanao del Sur to the Maguindanao areas. The Iranon language is in fact seen in the Maranao and Maguindanao languages. The Iranon were said to have fought under the Maguindanao Sultanate. Many sultans of Maguindanao were said to have been from the Iranons. The Iranon are cultural communities native to Mindanao, Philippines. They are considered part of the Moro cultural communities. So, what is the Iranon tribe known for? The Iranon were excellent in the maritime activity as they are traditionally sailors and pirates. They used to ply the route connecting the Sulu Sea, Moro Gulf to Celebes Sea and raided the Spanish-held territories along the way. And that's all, and thank you, sir, and have a nice day.
Good day, sir. I'm Styli Kizea Maydi Sanchez, and this is my report. Kulibugan. So, Kulibugan means half-breed. Half-breed is when there is a marriage between two different groups. So, these Kulibugan originally come from Subanon tribe in Philippines because their culture has been said to be half-breed. Kulibugan tribe used to live with the use of language of Subanon and they live along areas of Zamboanga Peninsula, southern Zamboanga del Norte, and some part of Zamboanga del Sur. Their culture has been influenced by Muslim tribe, intermarriage between Muslim. Subanon tribe used to have no region, but when the marriage happened between these groups, they adopt the region Islam. Sangil. People that are part of Sangil tribe are living in the southern part island of Mindanao, which is Sarangani, and some province of Davao del Sur. This Sangil word comes from the word Sanghe, which is the name of island in Indonesia between the Celebes and which is the original homeland of Sangil tribe. These people are already Muslim before entering Philippines, and boat making is an activity that this tribe are good at. They also said that this tribe are once become pirates that attacked some of the territories of Spaniard in some part of Philippines.
The Kalagan. Kaagan are mostly found in the Davao provinces. Their Islamization was achieved through the arrival of the Maguindanaoan and Tausug. However, when the Maguindanao Sultanate and Tausug left, the Kaagan became marginalized with less improvement in their social organization. So Kalagan live on the island of Mindanao in in the southern Philippines are located in an area between interior uplands and western coast of Davao Gulf, and taught in one of the various of lowland Filipinos who came to the island from Asia's southwestern mainland several thousand years ago. Their lifestyle and culture are very similar to the Maguindanao. Their language, also called Kalagan, resembles a number of other languages in the region. What are their lives like? The Kalagan are self-sufficient, producing nearly all their own food. Wet rice is grown in the lowlands and only dry rice and corn are raised in the mountainous areas. Yams and sweet potatoes are also staple crops. Kalagan believes that taga-Kolo Kalagan were not introduced to Islam until Muslim missionaries arrived in the area during the 15th year. About half of the entire group of Kalagan came under Islamic influence at the time. However, daghan pa man gihapon og nagpabilin nga enemies, ibig sabihin, I believe that non-human objects have spirits. Pero nowadays daghan gihapon og ethnic religionist gatuo gihapon sa mga tinuuhan sa mga katigwangan.
Muslim inhabitants of Palawan. Palawan inhabitants Manimusa were Islamized through the Solo Sultanate through the Tausug who went there introduced the Islam to the local people. Now, the Muslim population in the area are found in Batarasa, Quezon, Brooks Point, Espanola, Nara, Rojas, Taytay, and Abulan. Actually, the Muslim in Palawan po is Panimusan. Panimusan Muslim is Islamized by the Solo Sultanate through the Tausug. Then, also they are native Muslim po, and sila din po yung descendant ng early Malay, Arab, and Indian. And as of now po, meron pong 75,000 to 100,000 po ang Muslim na nasa Palawan po, at matatagpuan po sila sa Batarasa, Quezon, Brooks Point, Espanola, Nara, Rojas, Taytay, and Aborla po. Jama Mapon, the largest concentration of Jama Mapon is on the island of Cagayan de Sulu. They are more oriented towards a land-based existence. The most Sama group, but are also heavily oriented towards maritime trade, emphasizing copra and forest product. They receive many consumer products through barter and northern Borneo cities. They live both on the coast and the interior of their island. Kinship is traced military, but the unlinear features such as inheritance of the titles, political structure revolves around the sultanate, but there are also an ancestor-based grouping called Lungun. The elaborate music and the dance of the Jama Mapon are related to those of Southeast Asia. And then Jama Mapon is one of the Bangsamoro ethnic tribes in the Philippines. When we say Moro are Muslim Filipino people located mostly in Mindanao. Jama Mapon is from the word Jama, means people, and Mapon, which is the name of the island municipality of Mapon. Jama Mapon are called people of Mapon. Jama Mapon is distributed over wide area of Borneo to the southwestern Philippines and Palawan. But the largest population of Jama Mapon people is on the island of Cagayan de Sulu. Sama Bajau are the language they use. Jama Mapon people are socially independent, peaceful, and creative. Some of their economic activities are copra production, dry rice, and trading. The primary religion they practice by Mapon is Sunni Muslim, where they believe in one God, who they call who they call Tuhan of Allah. And that's all. That's all po. Thank you.
Badja, widely known as the Sea Kepasis of the Sulu and Kilibesis, the Badjaw are scattered along the coastal areas of Tawi-Tawi, Sulu, Basilan, and some coastal municipalities of Zamboanga del Sur in the ERMM. Amongst themselves, they known as some Slosi Sama and are found living on houseboats where they make their livelihood solely on the sea as expert fishermen, deep sea divers, and navigators. They come to shore to barter their harvest from produce such as fruits and cassava, as well as replenish their supplies and or make repairs to their houseboat. Unique to their cultural rituals is the concept of life and their relationship to the sea. So the Badjaw are scattered along the coastal areas of Tawi-Tawi, Sulu, Basilan, and some coastal municipalities of Zamboanga del Sur. Dili lang po Tawi-Tawi, Sulu, Basilan, ug Zamboanga del Sur na ay mga Badjaw na napod sila sa diriya sa atoa makita nato ato ang society nga di jud na sila mawala naa gani na sa Panabo ug Davao. Kasagaran nato na silang makita is naa na sila sa sapa or dagat. The Subanon is a group of enemies slash and burn agriculturists that live in the forest interior in the southern Mindanao, also known as the Subanon, Eastern Subanon, Subanon, Western Subanon. They are quite different from the Lowlanders who live around them, who are either Muslims or Christians. The Subanons have a history of being exploited and taken as slaves by their coastal Muslim neighbors. The Subanon live in widely scattered statement and share rice crops almost totally by hand without plows or event hoes. They gather a wide variety of the forest products, hunt wild pigs and deer, and fish and collect portions of streams. The division of labor between men and women is very equal. Subanon is a group of enemies slash and burn to agriculturists that live in the forest interior in southern Mindanao. They raise crops almost totally by hand without plows or event hoes. The Subonons have a history of being exploited and taken as slaves by their coastal Muslim neighbors.